Alrighty guys, so we decided to come back to the Rocky Mountain Train Supply, go visit these guys again. Have a great stuff in here, let's go check it out.
So as you walk in the door, you're greeted with some signage and some starter kits. There's a small cart there on the right hand side that has some engines and some rolling stock there. Some really good prices on their engines and rolling stock. On the left there's some Woodland Scenics pre-built buildings and some Walters kits on the right hand side. There's a huge selection of the Walters kits on the right. Down at the bottom, or down at the end of the rack there on the left, there's some Atlas lights there. I bought one pack of those. I couldn't find exactly what I wanted, but that's the only thing that I bought at the store, just because the train store or the train show was going to be the next day, so I didn't really want to spend too much money. On the left hand you'll find some Woodland Scenics scenery supplies. There's a ton of those supplies there. Here's some used items there that you can find. There's some really good prices on the used HO scale stuff. There's some good Lionel and MTH and Atlas engines and rolling stock. Some really good prices. There's some books and other little, odds and ends there as well. I found a couple of things on this rack, but I decided not to pick them up. Like I said, the train show was going to be the next day. Over here's some track. They have a ton of track. I could not, explain to you how much they had, but there was a huge selection. Whatever you need, they have it. This place is completely fully stocked with everything that you need. Here's a bunch of N scale items here. You can see the track, and there's some details and some structures that you can buy for your N scale layout. As we walk further down this way, you'll find that there's a bunch of Kato track. As you walk this way, here is the front of the store. It seems like it's going to be a small area when you first walk in, but it's actually a pretty big store. It's pretty deceiving when you first look at it. Over here is some HO scale track and some rolling stock. Like I said earlier, this store is extremely well stocked. Every shelf is full. Everything that you'd possibly want is in this store. There is a ton of rolling stock that I really wanted to get my hands on, but I know as soon as I pulled out my credit card, I knew that I was going to be in big trouble. So there's this rack over here. There is a ton of Walters Proto Union Pacific excursion cars. I have almost everything that they have to offer when it comes to Union Pacific, so I didn't find anything new that I needed. This back wall is covered in Woodland Scenics figures and little trees and other, little structures and stuff. There's a small rack there with some discounted items which have some really good prices on them. Here are all the tools that this store has. There is a ton of cool little things there. They have, glue, they have styrene, they have CA glue, whatever you need. They have model color, which is Vallejo paint there as well. There's some detail supplies here down this area here. As you can see, there's a really big rack for magazines and books here. Over here you'll find that they have a test track here. They have a multitude of components to run DC and DCC. They have an ESU, they have Digitrax. Here is the display cases for all the locomotives and some rolling stock as well. They have a multitude of different types of scales. They have from Z all the way up to G. Here's a pre-owned display case for N scale items here. In this display case you'll find that there's a ton of O scale and G scale locomotives. Look at those Santa Fe F7s. Man, if I had a G scale layout outside, you'd find a couple of those on my layout. Here are some N scale locomotives. They have really good prices on their N scale stuff. That's what their website primarily is. It's N scale. And man, if I had N scale, man, these people would be going out of business because I'd buy them all out of everything they got. Here's some HO stuff. Man, they have so many cool things in this case. If I had the money, like unlimited funds, man, I would have gone crazy buying up all of the SP stuff and the DNRGW locomotives, even Union Pacific. Heck, you know what? I would have taken the whole case home with me. Lots of cool engines. They have some pre-owned stuff in here as well, which are pretty well priced. They have the River Rossi big boy down there as well. Over here is the Z-scale case. There was a gentleman that was very helpful. He actually let me open up the case so that I can get a better look at these engines, so there wasn't a glare. So I was able to open it up, and here they are. It is unreal, like how small these locomotives and rolling stock are once you really like take a look at them up close and personal and actually get to like pick one up. And they're just so small, and they just can fit in the palm of your hand. It's incredible. Someday I would like to start a small Z-scale layout. I saw some at the train show, and I was in just awe of how cool those layouts are. And you know, it's crazy how well detailed some of these Z-scale engines are, especially the American Z-line. They're really good stuff. Here's one of their layouts. They have a train running around it. It's a pretty cool looking layout. I like it. I really like simple layouts. And this is a simple layout. Nice 4x8. A little farm looking, Midwestern looking layout there. Looks pretty good. Here's a small N-scale layout. You had a Santa Fe running around this. There's a gentleman named David. He works there. Really good guy. He was very, very helpful. He even went out of his way to pull off the Santa Fe engine and put on a Broadway Limited steam engine with sound. And I was completely in shock of how good those Broadway Limited N-scale engines sound. They sound really good. He also has a YouTube channel. His name is David Z to G. Really good dude. Here is a small Z-scale layout. I thought it was really cool. Looking at that little engine going around this layout was super cool. Coming up next is that Broadway Limited steam engine that David pulled out for me to check out. Really cool. Man, that whistle on this engine sounds so good, especially that bell. Sounds really nice. I am so surprised at how this engine sounds. N-scale has really come a long way when it comes to the sound department. So that pretty much concludes my visit to Rocky Mountain Train Supply. Love the store. If you guys are in the area, you guys need to check this place out. Great place, great guys that work there. Especially thank you to David for cleaning up some of the layouts and switching out the engines for me to check them out, and for you guys to check them out. Thanks a lot, David. I appreciate it. Like I said, his YouTube channel's David Z to G. Check him out.